Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanajar Yamuna Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad Bhai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kundradha Kundiri Govardhana Ki Shri Vrindadevi Gavadevi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Mayapur Namadvip Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Shri Dwarka Puri Dham Ki Shri Ayodhya Puri Dham Ki Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Mandir Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Hare Krishna Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunivani Paschatya Deshatarane Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudhirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatityuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Who can translate from Hindi to English? So, जिनको हिंदी में सुनना है पीछे, प्रभु आप पीछे बैठिए और सबको अनुवाद करेंगे. Not you. He will translate to Hindi to English to Hindi. I'll speak in English and you translate it to Hindi. जिनको हिंदी में सुनना है राम गोविंद प्रभु के साथ बैठ जाइए. राम पीछे, प्रभु बीच में बैठिए. अच्छा, like that? No, it's better I speak in English and you give a translation in the back. I will speak slowly because their English is poor. It's just they don't know Hindi at all, right? They're for Ruski Pradania, Ukrainsky Pradania, Ukrainsky, Ruski. So anyone who cannot understand English, sit with Ram Govinda, come this side because ladies also may not know. કાકા એમને પાસે બેસો, હિન્દી સાંભળો, આજે અંગ્રેજીમાં છે. રામ ગોવિંદ પ્રભુ પાસે, રામ ગોવિંદ પ્રભુ. अच्छा, canto skanda 7, adhyaya 3, shloka on the board 32. Twataf param na paramapyaneja. They don't have a... You can read the Devanagari, you have it there, Poruski. Okay. Dejachcha kinchid vyatiriktamasti vidyah kalaste tanavascha sarva hiranyagarbhosi vrihatri prishtaha twataf param na paramapyaneja dejachcha kinchid vyatiriktamasti vidyah kalaste tanavascha sarva hiranyagarbhosi brihat triprishtaha. Okay. Twataf param na paramapyaneja dejascha kinchit vyatiriktamasti Vidyah kalaste dhanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbhosi brihatri prishtaha. Tvataf param na paramapyaneja. Tejat chakinchit vyatiriktamasti. Vidyav khalaste tanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbhosi brihatri prishtaha. Tvataf param na paramapyateja. Dehadsha kinchit vyatiriktamasti. Vidyah kalaste dhanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbhosi brihatri prishtaha. Tvataf param na paramapyaneja. Dejach kinchit vyatiriktamasti. Vidyah kalaste dhanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbhosi brihatta prishtaha. Tvataf param na paramapyatneja. Dejach chakinchit vyatiriktamasti. Vidyah kalaste dhanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbhosi brihatri prishtaha. Tvataf param na paramapyaneja. Dejach chakinchit vyatiriktamasti. Vidyah kalaste dhanavascha sarva. जिनको हिंदी में सुनना है, राम गोविंद प्रभु के साथ बैठना है, उनके पास बैठना है। पदपातः पदपातः त्वत्तः from you, param higher, na not, aparam lower, api even, anejat not moving, ejat moving, cha and, kinchit anything, vyatiriktam separate, asti there is, vidyaha knowledge, kalaha its parts, te of you, tanavaha features of the body, cha and, sarvaha all, hiranyagarbha the one who keeps the universe within his abdomen. Asi You are Brihat, greater than the greatest. Triprishtaha, transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. There is nothing separate from you, whether it be better or lower, stationary or moving. The knowledge derived from the Vedic literatures, like the Upanishads and all the sublims of the original Vedic knowledge, form your external body. You are Hiranyagarbha, the reservoir of the universe. But nonetheless, being situated as the supreme controller, you are transcendental to the material world, which consists of the three modes of material nature. Purport. Kshama kare, excuse me. The word para means the supreme cause, and apara means the effect. The supreme cause is the personality of Godhead, and the effect is material nature. The living entities, both moving and non-moving, are controlled by the Vedic instructions in art and science, and therefore they are all expansions of the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the center as the Super Soul. The Brahmandas, the universes, exist during the duration of a breath of the Supreme Lord. Yasyaika nishvasita kalam athavalambhya jivanti loma vilaja jagadanda nataha. Thus, they are also within the womb of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu. Nothing, therefore, is separate from the Supreme Lord. This is the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva. Hare Krishna. Hiranyakashipu is praying. Hiranyakashipu Hiranyakashipu is praying to Brahma because he wants to attain immortality. That's not possible. The living entities are eternal, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha The jivas are eternal, sanatan, and they are my parts, angsha. Mama eva angsha. So, Bhagavad Gita is a synopsis of the Upanishads. In the translation, Prabhupada mentions Upanishads. Even though Upanishads is not mentioned specifically, but the word vidya is used. Vidya is knowledge. So there are different types of knowledge. Material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. The world is mostly excited by or enlivened by material knowledge. Because when you get material knowledge, then you can obtain wealth. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The four aims of human life. Religiosity, dharma. Artha, economic development. Kama, sense gratification. And moksha, liberation. Mostly human beings are chasing sense gratification, which is available if there is wealth. That's also part of the Vedic system. Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. It's the Vedic system. First, you should be trained in Vedas so that you know the fans are making the kapha. Agitating the kapha. Yeah, slow. Keep them moving, but slow. Backside fans you can put. Where is that fan? So, no, it's too cold. Cool. Turn this down. Down. So when one studies Vedas, then he learns Varnashram Dharma. He understands that he has a certain duty to perform. And the Varnashram system means brahmachari life is meant for studying Vedic literature. Grihastha ashram is meant for sense gratification. And vanaprastha and sannyas are meant for renunciation. Mostly people will not become renounced. Prabhupada has mentioned, and this is a Vedic concept, that Brahmanas will become renounced at the end. Kshatriyas will also go and reside in the forest, Vanaprastha ashram. And Vaishyas and Shudras will mostly be Grihasthas. What is sense gratification? The basic necessities of life are also sense gratification. Sense gratification is not simply luxurious life. Because we have senses, we have material bodies. And in order to keep the body and soul together, to maintain life, the body requires a basic food, shelter, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maitunam cha. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Grihastha ashram. So whole world is moving on this principle. We need to gratify our senses. Gratifying the senses is everyone's business. To try and purify the senses, we say Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. Engage your senses in the service of the master of all the senses. So that sadhana we are trying to follow. And hopefully the aim of that is the freedom from repetition of birth and death. Moksha. Liberation. We are bound by the results of our actions. Those who do not understand this did not learn the lesson of the Vedas and the Upanishads. And the majority of human society has not learned this lesson. Because they'll engage in any type of activity that can bring them artha and kama, economic development and sense gratification. So that is called vikarma. Vikarma means bad action. What's that? There's a verse in Bhagavatam, Kurute vikarma, Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Nunam means certainly. Nunam pramatta, mad, they have become, they've lost their mental balance. Kurute vikarma, because they engage in bad action, papachar, sinful activities. So Nyunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Rishabdev in 5th canto spoke this to his sons. Don't engage in vikarmas, like slaughter of animals or intoxication. Those who take intoxication and eat non-vegetarian food are influenced by tamogun, more influenced by tamogun. So if they're influenced by tamogun, they cannot get correct knowledge. It's the opposite of the knowledge that is mentioned in today's verse. Avidya. So even Ishopanishad talks about Vidya and Avidya. Vidyamscha yas yat tejo bhayam saha ne ubhayam saha. You should know Avidya also, but you should not engage in the activities of Avidya. You should not engage in the activities of ignorance. So this message is very difficult for human society to accept, because everyone wants to take intoxication because it makes them feel good. And people think, majority of the people think that human life is meant for feeling good. That is sense gratification, pleasing the body. But you can please the body without engaging in vikarma, bad action. We understand that, we are teaching that. But if we go outside, there are only a few people sitting here. And there are so many educational institutions in the world today. They're not teaching this. And for years the students are hearing that by any means you should earn money, wealth. Their business is now in the stock market, and that includes slaughterhouses and other such intoxication business, like breweries, right? Breweries where they make liquor, factories that make liquor. That's in the stock market. So people invest their money in these businesses. They think that there's nothing wrong, it's a business. The meat business and the intoxication business. So, in this way, they have become mad. And they engage in vikarma. Gita Upadesh Karmanas Chapi Bodhavyam Bodhavyam Chapi Vikarmana. One should know what is action, karma, and bad action, vikarma. Hiranyakashipu is praying to Brahma. He talks about Vidya, knowledge. Here only the word Vidya is used, but in the translation Prabhupada mentions Vedic knowledge, Vedic literature, and Upanishads. So we should, in order to get right knowledge, study these literatures. Bhagavatam is teaching that we should study the Vedas. It's the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. Vedanta Sutra is a synopsis of the Upanishads. Synopsis? What do you say in Russian?
It's Greek word, but we understand this.
Ah, it's a Greek word, synopsis.
Quintessence, I believe. It's brief
Right.
narration of some.
You can understand. So, Srimad Bhagavat ultimately says you have to study Upanishads. Even if you have the essence in your hand, you still have to study the entire group of literatures. So Vedic study is stressed. If one wants to become sattvic, really truly sattvic, truly situated in the mode of goodness, then he has to study the Vedic literature. So even though Gita is also called Gita-Upanishad, but Gita also recommends studying Vedas and Upanishads. The Vedas have 4 parts: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. So by studying these Vedic literatures, you give up the desire to engage in the vikarmas, the bad actions. Why is it that human society does not accept the message of Vedas? Bad luck? That's one of the explanations. People are born in families where there's no connection with Vedas. Also, foolishness and madness, nunam pramatta. Like Ajamil, he studied Vedic literature, but he became mad for sense gratification, and he engaged in vikarmas. He is an exceptional case, that all of his vikarmas were nullified by his remembering the name of Narayana. Not that we should engage in all kinds of vikarmas like Ajamil and then hope to remember Narayana at the end. That's not the recommendation of Bhagavatam or any of the Vedic literature. The recommendation is follow the Vedic injunctions. There are many Vedic activities, sanskaras, that are to be followed, and also utsavas. Our acharyas sang the song, what is it? Madhava Titi Bhakti Janani. The festivals connected with Lord Krishna are the mother of devotion. So in order to advance in spiritual life, Haribol. That's a wake-up call. Wake-up call. People who are closing their eyes, for them. So, the message is study Vedic literature, become sattvic, give up vikarmas. As Prabhupada wrote in the purport, the living entities moving and non-moving are controlled by the Vedic instructions in art and science, and are therefore all expansions of external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the center as the Super Soul. So Lord, as Paramatma, is watching everyone, but He doesn't interfere. He allows all the jivas freedom. If you want to engage in vikarma, fine, do it. Whole world is doing it. Whole world, they don't think that, you know, eating meat is wrong. Whole world. I'm a vegetarian, they say, but sometimes I eat fish. Right? When I came, I still remember this, the first flight I took to India, someone was sitting next to me, young guy, and he said, I'm a vegetarian, but today I think I'll eat non-vegetarian. So in this way, many human beings are cheating themselves. They cannot claim that they don't have knowledge that certain activities are sinful activities, vikarmas. Haribol. Hand on your head and your head down, it looks like you're sleeping. Okay, any questions? It doesn't have to be till 9 o'clock. But if there are questions, we can go. Yes? You have a question too? Number 1, number 2. Yeah.
We have heard that now is Keshav Vrata started.
We heard that Keshav Vrata started.
Maybe you can explain more about that.
Keshav Vrata? I don't know. What is Keshav Vrata?
No, now you offer to Krishna this rice and butter by morning.
Today is Dwadasi. So to break Ekadasi, that rice was there.
It's not about Keshav Vrata.
No, I don't know Keshav Vrata. You can explain it to me. And that Makhan Mishri, you can ask Seva Vilas Prabhu why he's distributing that. I think we're having extra milk and they're making butter from that. That's what I understand, but I may be wrong.
I heard that traditionally Vaishnava put some clay pot under Tulsi and Shilagram.
I don't know about that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm ignorant.
I
am ignorant. It may be true what you're saying. I myself am unfamiliar. Yeah.
The Vedic literature, mostly the Brahmanas going to learn. So
Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya are supposed to. Now a few Brahmanas study Vedas. Few.
So it is for that all of three or so mostly for Brahmanas?
No, it's Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. They're supposed to study Vedas, that is Dharma. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So for Shudras there's no Veda Dhyayanam, no study of Vedas. They learn what is Dharma by hearing from Brahmanas. That is the Vedic system. Now we say that, well, anyone could become a Brahmana. We are giving Brahmana Diksha, but we're not studying Vedas. That because the aim of that Brahmana Diksha is to study Vedas. So that, I think, is a weakness. I think it's a weakness. The idea is that it will be taken up at some point by those who are really serious. This study was done in the childhood because the system was to memorize. And modern education ridicules memorization. Modern education says there's no need to memorize. They say that it is, what do you call it, abuse. To engage, to make the children memorize is abusive. Modern education says like this. But the Vedic system was that once these things are memorized, it remains in your mind. Even if you don't understand, but later on in life, you will be able to meditate on those mantras, Veda mantras. Just like mathematics used to be taught by memorization. Tables. The tables were memorized. People think, well, there's no use in that. Then they stopped the memorization. And the people who didn't study in the memorization system cannot do the calculations without a machine, a calculator. So what did they teach? Mathematics. So modern education is an excuse. No, you learn something, obviously. You learn something. But you don't learn the whole, you don't learn as much. Vedas were accompanied by Vedangas. One of them is grammar. So you would understand how the language functions. People didn't want to learn, so they made modern education. You're glorified that you studied something with a piece of paper. You graduated. But actually there's a lot more knowledge than, just studying commerce, science, or arts. The ones who study only arts, they don't know what is commerce and science. The ones who study science, they don't know what is commerce and arts. Like that. Medicine. The branches of knowledge are vast. Even in Vedic knowledge, there's many branches of knowledge. But in the beginning, the Veda mantras were taught. They were memorized. Haribo, wake up, Jeev Jago. So, yeah, it's easy to talk about, but difficult to actually do it. Just like the math tables. It's easy to talk about the math tables, but to memorize all the math tables. It's a big job. So they stopped it, but still they give you a degree in mathematics. You studied the basic concepts. That's enough. Hare Krishna. Any other? Yes, we have another hand up.
In this sloka we see Hiranyakashipu is glorifying Brahmaji. That is false glorification. And he is saying Hiranyagarbha. That is not for Brahmaji. Why Bhagavatam is considering all these things? Why Vedas is writing here? He can escape also.
Actually, Brahma is empowered by Vishnu to create everything in the material world. Through Brahma, the material world comes into being. The different species, the demigods, right? So then, in that sense, he's here. Guna avatar. We say he's an avatar.
The way Hiranyakashipu is glorifying Lord Brahma, that is not the true glorification. So we can avoid a wrong authority if he speaks something, even as...
No, not like that. The Bhagavad is not giving wrong instructions. It has to be understood properly.
He is saying...
Yeah, Hiranyakashipu was glorifying Brahma so he could get a benediction, a boon, vara, which he got. But he could not get the benediction he wanted, isn't it? Ultimately, he wanted to be immortal, but Brahma could not give that to him. His material body had to be destroyed. It was destroyed by Narasimha. Now that is special mercy. Even though he's destroyed, it was a mercy. But that Hiranyakashipu is praising Brahma as Hiranyagarbha is not wrong.
You are transcendental to all the material world, all these things.
You have to understand that it's praise. Yeah, Brahma is mostly transcendental. That's also true. He's on a very high platform, right? Oh, we believe in these platforms, but Brahma is not, if our devotees, oh, he's on a high platform. Our own people, we say, oh, he's on a higher platform. So Brahma is not on a higher platform. He's directly in touch with Vishnu. He has amazing power to create the material world. Adbhuta Shakti. So he's, what is it? Almost the same as God. Almost the same. He's not in the ultimate analysis. But he creates everything in this world. That's a wonderful activity that no ordinary jiva can. He has to have special power. So he's praised for that. But we understand that ultimately that power comes from another power. But when someone is in a powerful position, he's praised by society. Just like the governor of the state. He doesn't have a lot of power. He doesn't run the government. But he can in certain circumstances. And so he's always called His Excellency the Governor. He's praised. In English there are words for praise. And in Sanskrit there are words of praise. And so when these words of praise are used, it doesn't mean that that person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like we there are different officers in the government. We have to, when we go to them, we have to be very humble. The police commissioner, the collector, they're not the chief minister. It's like that. They're like demigods. Brahma is a demigod, we believe. Our ideology is like that, but his power is fantastic. It's not ordinary power, isn't it? So the collector is not the governor, but he's powerful. The police commissioner is not the chief minister, but he's powerful. The ministers are not the chief minister. The government has so many cabinet ministers. They're not the chief minister, and the chief minister is not the prime minister like that. The president and the prime minister are the topmost officers. So like that, Brahma is the topmost officer in the material universe. So naturally he'll be praised with different words of praise. Does that make sense? Just like you praise the collector. When the collector comes in some program, he'll be given lots of praise, but he's not the supreme power. He's a government officer with power. Much power. In the district, he has the most power, but he's not the supreme. So these are examples, analogies.
He is a collector, it's a collector. You are the controller of the district.
Right.
But we are praising, to collector, you are the controller of the whole country. That's wrong.
Right, no, but see, try and understand. Brahma has powers that are like God. Right? Eva. Just like God, he has unlimited power almost. He can travel anywhere in the material world. Nobody has these powers. So if you call him God, it's not wrong. In the ultimate analysis, he was wrong because ultimately he was killed. He means Hiranyakashipu is praying. Then Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narsimha, whatever you want to pronounce. Different pronunciations. So that way he got a lot of power from Brahma. And Brahma is not, ultimately we understand from our acharyas, the Supreme Lord. But he's like the Supreme Lord. He has tremendous, he's an officer of the Lord. Topmost officer, like the Prime Minister. Now beyond the Prime Minister, you say, well, there's no one, but there's the President of India, right? Constitutionally, he's above the Prime Minister. So this is just an analogy I'm giving you. The Pradhan Mantri of the material world is Brahma. And beyond him is Vishnu. Now, the analogy is not 100% the same because the President of India doesn't interfere. Vishnu also may not interfere in the creation of the universe. He's lying, enjoying sleep on the Shesha. So in one sense he is aloof, but it says he maintains the universe, right? Brahma creates, Vishnu maintains. Shiva destroys the material world. The spiritual world, there's no destruction. But we're talking about the material world. Haribol. Someone is sleeping. Right, any other question? Yeah, more. Okay, good.
Vedic studies. We see now in the world, science is so advanced. We are going into space.
Right.
They are developing guns,
Right.
vehicles, big buildings.
And no one can oppose them.
Life is comfortable. If India is engaged only in the Vedic studies, some other country get take on us, then how Vedic knowledge can help us? Why this engineering knowledge of engineering and chemistry, they are helping us?
That's
What is the practical application of Vedic knowledge nowadays? In contrast to the other parts of the world.
no. It's a good question because many people will think like that, or they do think like that, I mean. And it's true that today in the world, well, at the time of Lord Krishna, there were many demon kings, that we call them demon kings because they were not devotees of Vishnu. And they engaged in all kinds of vikarmas. So that we see is true today also. Same at the time of Lord Krishna, same is true today. Now, they're very powerful. Lord Krishna came and killed so many powerful rascals. Why doesn't he come today and do the same? This is that's the question. That's also his will, Kali Yuga. That's the only explanation, will of the Lord. Prabhupada wanted to recreate a Vedic society. He used the word Vedic so many times, and yet he didn't institute study of the Vedas directly. It's a fact. It's a fact. Then we should, if we study the Bhagavat, which he did present, it wasn't just him, but our whole parampara, then if you read carefully, you have to study Vedas. That's what the message of the Bhagavat is. Brahmachari Gurukule. What do you do in a Gurukula? You know, do you twiddle your thumbs all day? I'm just saying. The description of Gurukul, Vedic Gurukul, was not that they made two teams and played cricket with each other. Right? Now, how can Vedic help us? Vedic knowledge. Because India has to be, you know, what is it, militarily strong. So, there are many creations of demons that we use, like the car, for example. We should not use the car. In Mayapur, we made a resolution that inside the ISKCON compound there will be no motor vehicles, even electric, only bullock carts. Prabhupada stressed this. But still he went in the car and in the airplane. We go in the car and in the airplane. The people who made the airplane are all non-vegetarian, right? Demons. Tamasic. They're very powerful. So, some sort of, you know, compromise formula is there. Vedic knowledge can help give a guidance towards a sattvic society. And modern education can give a guidance towards a rajasic and tamasic society. Just like Prahlad's gurus, Shanda and Amarka, sons of Shukracharya. They didn't want to give any sort of bhakti instruction to Prahlad. And when he talked about bhakti, they chastised him. So modern education is like that. We're not allowed on campuses. We have to do some tricks. We cannot speak to all the students. Then there are those who right from the childhood had no respect or regard for Vedic culture, Vedic religion, because they don't know what it is, ignorant, like us Westerners. We didn't know. So then to convert them, to give them to bring them that Vedas are the literature, Vedic teachings is what will give you a life of goodness that will elevate you to liberation. It's a tough task.
So we can say both are needed. Vedic education is needed for
because of circumstances, yes. Because of circumstances.
Gurukul is also okay and modern school is also
the weapons that we read about in Bhagavatam, we don't see any Brahmana or Kshatriya so powerful now. We don't see. Right? Mantra Shakti we say. But Mantra Shakti we don't see. Only the Astras and Shastras of the modern military. There was Astra Shakti in the past, but there was a Sukshma Astras from mantras. They're not seen now. We don't see one powerful person who can invoke that Brahmastra or whatever. There are so many, right? They're described in Bhagavad. But nobody can employ that. Mantra Jnanam, knowledge of mantras is a few have that knowledge, but even they don't have that power that came with that. Why? It's Kali Yuga. That's the explanation. That's the explanation. Now, it may not seem logical that we should study the Vedas and we wouldn't have that power that came from Veda Dhyayana. But that is the factual situation. There's a degradation that happened. And the degradation is since the beginning of Kali Yuga, 5,000 years. Still that faith in Vedic literature is there.
But my point is, Gurukul is also okay, and modern school is also okay. Both are needed for this society.
Well,
otherwise, how will they learn chemistry and physics and they will develop the
weapons
for the protection of the country? Not only weapons, whatever.
That's also a small section of people who are developing the weapons. Then there's a larger section trained how to use them, the army, the navy, the air force. Even there, if you see the whole society, you don't see the military. There's some places there's more military, right? Some places most places it's less. Like in Bombay, you won't see the military. Police you see, military you don't see. It's a big city. Then you would think it needs to be protected by the military. The military is there, but it's unseen. So it's a smaller section of society, but still providing protection. So Rajas used to provide that protection in the Vedic times. They had their armies. They may not have had air force and navy. We don't read much about that.
That time there was a dharma yuddha, now adharma yuddha is going on.
Yeah, because atyachar, atrocities. Atrocities are being, just like innocent people are being killed. Someone without a weapon is shot by a gun and pushed into a, kabra, a grave. There's pictures I've seen. They're just shooting the men. They make them stand next to the grave and they shoot them and kill them and push them in. So this is not dharma yudh. If someone doesn't have a weapon, he's not to be shot. In Vedic culture, everyone had a weapon and they fought, and the stronger, party won. Today, they're killing innocent people without weapons. Now then, this is a generalization. It's not specific. Yeah, some places both sides have weapons. Some places they don't. Then women and children and old people, they're not supposed to be part of this fight. Fights were not supposed to be in cities, but we see cities are destroyed. We're talking about the last 100 years of fighting. Fighting goes on. It's from time immemorial. So yeah, we want to protect the country, you have to have modern technology. That's what you're saying. Right. It seems like that's the only way. But all of the people who are educated in modern educational institutions are not engaged in protecting the country. Some, few. And so most of those people who don't get any Vedic education, because of in the name of modernization and technology, become tamasic and rajasic. And they have no spiritual life.
Better we should have blend of modern and Vedic education in their proposal. Because pure Vedic is not going to help the modern scenario. And pure modern, it is going to create havoc in the society. So why not
mostly havoc is there in society.
So blend of modern and Vedic.
People don't want to get married, for instance. Grihastha ashram itself is under the combined family. Undivided family, everyone lived together, that's gone away. So the Grihastha ashram is also under threat. And people are unhappy, there's more tension. One person has to look after many instead of a whole group looking after. Used to be a big group. All the brothers and their wives helped the parents and the children. They were living together. And now they're not. No, they're not. And they're being taught, don't marry. Engage in sexual activity without responsibility. But that's not the Vedic system. Vedic system is you have children. Now we'll have one child. That's also vikarma. That's also vikarma. Then there's one child, and they're living alone without their uncles and aunts and the extended family. And then who will take care of them in the old age? They're alone. You see, some relative used to take care. Now there are institutions. Like this is an institution for Vedic knowledge. But somebody went mad. He suffered from dementia. Who will take care of him? And of course, it's a struggle. There are people taking care of, there's one case like this. One old devotee has lost his mental balance. And so taking care of him has become very difficult. And he's a sannyasi, no family. He lost his mental balance. It's unfortunate. Sannyasi is not supposed to lose their mental balance. So sannyasi is supposed to be highly philosophical and highly sattvic. Somebody who can, know how to live. But if you lose your mental balance, you don't know how to live, you hurt yourself. You hurt yourself physically. So the family system was there, extended family. So even that now in this big city life. So what is the advancement? You understand? There are many so-called advancements that we need to protect the society. Military science without technology. Okay, maybe. But whole society doesn't need that. Few people need that training. Now how to decide who should get that training and who should get this training? But we see that this training, Vedic training, is gone away. Even we are not studying properly. We didn't study it properly. Now we're too old, maybe. Some of us are too old. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.